Hi, welcome to Loft 801. My name is Diego, and today I'm talking about Primate, a 2026 creature feature horror movie that is honestly exactly what the title promises. And I mean that in the best way possible. The whole pitch is simple. A family has a pet chimp, and that setup is already kind of tense and unusual, and then the worst possible thing happens at the worst possible time. The chimp gets rabies, and now the kids are basically on their own trying to survive in this isolated home while everything turns into a nightmare. Directed by Johannes Roberts, it's a tight 89 minutes. It's a lean, nasty popcorn horror flick that wastes very little time getting to the point. So let me break it down to the way I would explain it to a friend. If you go in with the right expectations as I did, this movie is very satisfying. This movie is fun. It's campy in spots, it has some cheesy or awkward dialogue here and there, and it leans into the fact that the premise is a little over the top, but it plays things straight enough that it stays intense. And that's the key. Primate is kind of the same experience as a movie like Clown in a Cornfield, where the title tells you exactly what you're going to get. If you show up expecting it to be fun, then you're gonna have a blast. There's something naturally scary about a threat that isn't supernatural or evil in a human way. It's just an animal with rabies. It's chaos, it's instincts, it's primal, and that makes it feel grimy and real. Besides, we've all seen the stories of a man mauled by a tiger, a child strangled by a snake, a chimpanzee disfiguring a woman. That last one is obviously the inspiration for this movie. Travis the chimp was a male chimpanzee who was raised and lived with Sandra Harrod in Stamford, Connecticut. On February 16th, 2009, he mauled Sandra's friend Charla Nash, blinding her, severing several body parts, and lacerating her face. He was ultimately shot dead by a responding police officer. Knowing that news story, it's not hard to imagine how this movie plays out. One of the selling points for watching this movie is the cast. It's a bunch of hot young adults vacationing in Hawaii and getting brutalized by a chimp. I really enjoyed Johnny Sequoia as Lucy. She has this vibe that reminded me of Mackenzie Davis, something about her delivery and tone. I think she was a good protagonist and had a lot of personal stakes in this emergency. Now, I'll be honest, there are some moments where I think her delivery can be a little stiff, but I genuinely think that's not always her fault. Again, some of the dialogue is written in a campy, slightly unnatural way, and you can feel the script in the actor's mouth sometimes. But overall, she's a solid lead, and I would watch another one of her movies. For me, the standout is Jessica Carolyn Alexander. She felt the most natural. She had that slightly bratty energy and rivalry dynamic with Lucy early on, and then when things hit the fan, the movie did something I really liked. Differences were pushed aside because survival was bigger than the drama. Lucy has some moments where she comes in clutch, not in a corny girl boss way, just in a believable we're all trapped here and we need to move kind of way. Troy Kotzer is also good here as Lucy's father, Adam. He isn't in the movie much, but his presence matters. Personally, Troy reminded me of my friend's dad. The whole remote Hawaiian property setup reminded me of a real trip I took back in 2023, where we were basically glamping on private land. Obviously, there was no chimp involved, which is why I'm here to tell my tale, but that personal similarity made the setting feel weirdly relatable to me, which made the danger feel closer. Victoria Wyant as Kate is fine. Taking the campy dialogue away, I still think her dialogue delivery was a little stiff. Gia Hunter worked well as Erin, even if she had a lot of plot armor along with Lucy and Adam. Benjamin Chang played Nick, and he was great because he helped add stakes. The biggest character misses for me were Drew and Phil, two frat boys. They're so cartoonishly douchey that they feel like they wandered in from a different, goofier movie. They're in this movie as human bait, and the movie wants you to root on their downfall, but honestly, I wasn't rooting for the chimp to kill these people. I wanted the chimp put down because the chimp was scary, tragic, and dangerous. So when the movie focuses on these two bros, it's the only time when I felt the tone slip into something too outlandish. I wouldn't have minded these characters if they'd been written a little bit more seriously, like guys coming to the rescue and still getting destroyed by the chimp. Visually, this movie isn't going to floor you, however, it is a well-shot movie and that matters for horror. One of my biggest pet peeves is when modern horror goes so dark you can't see anything. Primate avoids that. Even with the nighttime sequences, the film is readable. The darkness is used for tension without obscuring things. For a movie that takes place in a limited setting, I think the movie does a good job of using the house for different visuals and pacing. We spend time by the pool, by the dining room, the living room, the bedroom, and a car outside the house. It helps make the limited space feel like a full set piece. I think the production design and the effects are one of the movie's biggest strengths. Ben looks real, and not in the clean CGI showcase kind of way. He looks like he's actually sharing space with the cast, in large part because he is. Miguel Torresumba donned a chimp suit, which helped add a tactile feel and weight to his threat. I love that because creature features live and die on whether the creature feels present and dangerous. There's also a fair amount of gore in this movie. Faces get ripped off, legs get chomped, jaws get snapped. Each kill feels practical and intentional, and the kills are never shown off screen. The soundtrack is something I did not not expect to love as much as I did. Composed by Adrian Johnston, the music is used in a way that supports suspense instead of overpowering it. But my favorite part is actually the sound design and the ambience. A lot of the tension comes from the silence of the house, the uncertainty of where Ben is, the sudden footsteps, howls, screeches, and the motion in the background. That "is it in the room with me" fear is everything here. Also, I don't know what song it was, but there was one track in the film that almost had a transcendental feel to it. It's one song I will be listening to repeat once I find it. That song alone makes me want to rate this movie a little higher. Primate is a lean, nasty, and genuinely fun creature feature that fully understands what it is and it never overreaches. It delivers tension, gore, and suspense in a tight runtime anchored by a mostly solid cast, effective practical effects, strong sound design, and a setting that feels both isolated and dangerously believable. While the campy dialogue and cartoonish frat boy characters occasionally undercut the tone, those flaws never derailed the experience for me because the movie's momentum, atmosphere, and tactile threat remain strong throughout. This is the kind of horror movie where expectations matter, and if you walk in knowing exactly what the title promises, Primate absolutely delivers. It's not trying to reinvent the genre. It's trying to give you a thrilling, brutal good time, and for me, it succeeds. It's a movie I'd happily own on Blu-ray or Steelbook if it ever hits the shelves. Thank you for listening to my review of Primate. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and hit subscribe. If you did not enjoy the video, I'm sending Ben after you. As always, I would love to read what you have to say, so leave a comment and let me know what you're thinking. Also, if there's something you want to see reviewed, don't forget to let me know and I will do my best to get to it. Lastly, if you want to see some more from me, then you can check out my vlogs linked up above or my podcast, Good Friends. Again, thank you for watching. My name is Diego and I will see you next time.